Beware wizards, gurus, and influencers. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. Don't you like it when I kick the camera stand like that and just kind of shake the camera around? That's always nice. Welcome back. I heard some news today that reminded me of something that I need to be reminded of from time to time, even though I talk about it a lot. There's a line from Dan Kennedy who said, be the wizard, beware the wizard. And the concept is that you need to, in order to make a difference in the world, you kind of have to be a leader, and you kind of have to be out there in front of it. And in that process, you are kind of putting on a show, so to speak. I mean, I'm kind of putting on a show here. I mean, in the most literal terms, I am. It's Brian J. Pombo Live. But you do kind of have to put on a show. And it's the things that you know, as simple and mundane as they are to you, to somebody out there, it's magic. To somebody out there, the things that you know is magic. Or are magic, I should say. And it's like you're a wizard. And to really make a difference in this world, you kind of have to be a wizard. You kind of have to be out there and put on the magic show. Not that you need to go out there and lie or mislead or anything of the sort. But you do have to kind of be a wizard. But at the same time, you have to beware other wizards. Because there's an issue with all of us, to a greater extent or a lesser extent, but everyone's got it to some extent, where we're looking for people to be influenced by. We're looking to pass on our, I'm not sure the word off the top of my head, our responsibility. Pass on our responsibility to somebody else. And when you do that, you kind of put them up on a pedestal and you turn them into a wizard. And you just figure, and every time your mind says, well, that was kind of strange what that person did, or I don't really agree with that. There's another part of your mind that says, yeah, but they're the wizard. They understand something that you don't know. And so you can pass on a whole lot of key cues that are going in your head saying, this isn't right, that isn't right. And you can pass on those, you pass on all that better judgment, all that better discernment, because you've put somebody up on a pedestal. And this can be a teacher, this can be a preacher, this can be a guru online, this could be somebody that you're watching on YouTube or listening to on a podcast, and you think, well, they've got to know what they're talking about. They're doing what they do. It may be somebody that just wrote a book. I mean, I went out and wrote 9 ways to Amazon proof your business. And because of that, I get a whole lot of attention, do or undo, because I went out and wrote a book and other people didn't write a book. I get attention for having a podcast when other people could just as easily write a book or have a podcast. But they don't know that it's easy, and so it's special, and so I'm a wizard for doing it. It's not that I want to be a wizard, but it does kind of come with the territory, and you do tend to attract people to a certain extent when you're out there doing stuff. There's also the temptation to go along with that and take advantage of it and all that, to, if you really got a following. And I imagine that's a problem that, something I don't have to worry about right now. We can say that. And, but you have to beware. I want to focus less on being a wizard, because that's a lot of what I focus on. In fact, you can get a copy of my book, 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business. Get a free copy at amazonproofbook.com. And if you go and download that, it tells you some ways of how to use wizardry, so to speak, to do what you need to do in order to grow your business and become competition proof. That's what that book's about. But I would like to focus more on the fact that I found out that a wizard I knew was just spinning magic tricks and was doing some rather foul things behind the scenes that would not become him. and and is not the type of thing that would follow along with everything else that this person proposes to be. And that's pretty rough, but it's the truth most of the time. Most of the time, we give people more credit than they really have due to them. And what you really should do is pay closer attention to that inner voice that's just telling you when and where to go. And don't get too caught up with people. Realize that people are going to get caught up with you along the way. You don't need to encourage them to. They're going to get caught up with you if you're out there doing anything positive. But on the same end, don't get caught up with other people. It's a dangerous road to go down, and it can be really bad in certain circumstances. And it could just be a distraction away from your true path, if so to speak, if you're not careful. So it's just a quick reminder, something you already know, but sometimes we need to hear it from our friends. So that's from me to you for tonight. That's all I got. You have a good one. Thanksgiving's coming up. We'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.